Welcome to the fascinating world of remote sensing, brought to you by NASA's Applied Remote Sensing Training Program. In this video, we'll explore the fundamentals of remote sensing, how we gather information about our planet from a distance using advanced technology and satellites. Remote sensing plays a crucial role in understanding Earth systems, monitoring environmental changes, and supporting scientific research. From capturing images of forests and oceans to tracking weather patterns and urban development, remote sensing is at the heart of modern Earth observation. Let's embark on this journey to discover how NASA uses remote sensing to unlock the secrets of our dynamic planet. Before we dive deeper, let's take a quick look at what we'll cover in this training. We'll start with the basics of remote sensing, then move on to satellites and sensors, including their types and resolutions. We'll discuss how satellite data is processed, explore projections and coordinate systems, and weigh the advantages and disadvantages of remote sensing. Finally, we'll clarify some essential terminology. This comprehensive overview will help you build a solid foundation in remote sensing, whether you're new to the field or looking to refresh your knowledge. NASA's Applied Remote Sensing Training (ARSET) program is designed to make satellite data and remote sensing techniques accessible to a wide audience. ARSET offers hands-on training, practical examples, and real-world applications to help users understand and utilize satellite data effectively. Whether you're a scientist, policymaker, or student, ARSET provides valuable resources to help you harness the power of remote sensing for environmental monitoring, disaster response, and more. Let's see how ARSET bridges the gap between complex satellite data and practical decision-making. Its core, remote sensing, is the science of obtaining information about objects or areas from a distance, typically using satellites or aircraft. One of the most familiar forms is photography, but remote sensing encompasses much more. Different sensors collect data in various ways depending on the application. Some are ground-based, others airborne or spaceborne. The choice of method depends on the information needed, the level of detail required, and how frequently data must be collected. Remote sensing enables us to observe and analyze the Earth's surface and atmosphere without direct contact, making it an invaluable tool for science and industry. Remote sensing relies on electromagnetic radiation, the energy that Earth receives from the sun. This radiation interacts with the atmosphere and the surface, being reflected, absorbed, or emitted in various ways. Satellites are equipped with instruments that measure this radiation, allowing scientists to gather data about temperature, moisture, height, and other features of the Earth's systems. By calibrating these instruments, we can accurately monitor changes in the atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, and biosphere. Understanding how electromagnetic radiation behaves is fundamental to interpreting remote sensing data. Electromagnetic spectrum covers the full range of wave frequencies that characterize solar radiation. While we often think of light as what we can see, most of the electromagnetic spectrum is invisible to the human eye. Satellite sensors are designed to detect specific portions of this spectrum, capturing data that would otherwise be inaccessible. This capability allows us to observe phenomena like vegetation health, water quality, and atmospheric conditions, all by analyzing different wavelengths of light. Different materials on Earth reflect and absorb electromagnetic radiation in unique ways. By analyzing the wavelengths reflected by a surface, sensors can identify the type of material. This is called a spectral signature. For example, healthy vegetation, water, and soil each have distinct spectral signatures. By comparing reflectance data across different wavelengths, scientists can map land cover, monitor crop health, and detect environmental changes with remarkable precision. Vegetation is a prime example of how remote sensing reveals information invisible to the naked eye. Pigments in plant leaves absorb visible red light, while the leaves reflect near-infrared light, which we can't see. As plants grow and change throughout the season, their reflectance properties shift. By measuring these changes, satellites can assess plant health, monitor agricultural productivity, and track ecosystem dynamics. This is why healthy vegetation often appears green in satellite imagery, while stressed or senescent plants show different colors. Water bodies interact with light differently than land or vegetation. Longer visible wavelengths like green and red and near-infrared radiation are absorbed more by water, while shorter blue wavelengths are reflected. This is why water often appears blue or blue-green in satellite images. Satellites can map optically active components in water such as chlorophyll or suspended sediments, providing valuable insights into water quality, aquatic ecosystems, and environmental changes in lakes, rivers, and coastal zones. As electromagnetic energy travels from the sun to Earth and back to the satellite sensor, it passes through the atmosphere twice. Along the way, energy is absorbed and scattered by gases and aerosols, which can distort the data. Atmospheric correction is a crucial step in remote sensing, removing these effects to reveal the true surface reflectance. This process ensures that the data accurately represents surface properties, enabling reliable analysis for scientific and practical application. Satellites are the workhorses of remote sensing, carrying a variety of sensors and instruments into orbit. Each sensor is designed for specific tasks, such as capturing images, measuring temperature, or detecting moisture. The names of sensors often reflect their function or the satellite they're mounted on. For example, Landsat 9 carries the Operational Land Emitter 2 (OLI-2) and the Thermal Infrared Sensor 2 (TIRS-2). These instruments work together to collect comprehensive data about Earth's surface and atmosphere. Satellites differ in many ways, including their orbits, energy sources, and measurement techniques. Some orbit the poles while others remain stationary over the equator. Energy sources can be passive, relying on sunlight, or active, generating their own signals. Measurement techniques vary from scanning to non-scanning, and applications range from weather forecasting to land mapping. Understanding these characteristics helps users select the right satellite and sensor for their specific need. Geostationary satellites orbit about 36,000 kilometers above the equator, matching Earth's rotation. This allows them to observe the same area continuously, making them ideal for weather monitoring and communications. However, their spatial coverage is limited to the same region, so they're best suited for applications that require frequent observations of a fixed area. Examples include weather satellites that track storms and provide real-time updates. Low Earth orbit (LEO) satellites move relative to Earth, often in polar or non-polar orbits. They provide global or near-global coverage, though with less frequent measurements compared to geostationary satellites. LEO satellites are essential for applications like land mapping, environmental monitoring, and scientific research. Examples include the Landsat series and the International Space Station, which collect data from different parts of the globe as they orbit. Satellites in polar or sun-synchronous orbits provide global coverage, passing over the poles and revisiting the same spot at the same local time each day. The frequency of measurements varies, but larger swath sizes mean higher temporal resolution. Sun-synchronous satellites are especially valuable for consistent, repeatable observations, making them ideal for long-term environmental monitoring and change detection. Passive sensors measure radiant energy reflected or emitted by the Earth atmosphere system. They rely on external sources like sunlight to collect data. These sensors convert energy into biogeophysical quantities such as temperature, precipitation, and soil moisture. Examples include Landsat OLITIRS and Terra MODIS. Passive sensors are widely used for land, ocean, and atmospheric observations, providing essential data for environmental monitoring. Active sensors generate their own energy source for illumination, often operating in the microwave portion of the spectrum. This allows them to penetrate the atmosphere under most conditions and collect data day or night. Active sensors are used for a variety of applications, including meteorology and surface observation. Examples include LIDAR radar and scatterometers, which provide detailed information about Earth's surface and atmosphere. Spectral resolution refers to the number and width of spectral bands a sensor can detect. Higher spectral resolution means the sensor can distinguish finer differences in wavelength, allowing for more detailed analysis of Earth's surface. Multispectral imagery typically uses 3 to 10 bands, while hyperspectral imagery can include hundreds or thousands of narrow bands. Panchromatic sensors, on the other hand, collect data across a broad range of wavelengths in a single band. Spatial resolution describes the ground area represented by a single pixel in an image. The higher the spatial resolution, the smaller the area each pixel covers, resulting in more detailed images. For example, digital globe satellites can achieve resolutions of less than 1 meter, while MODIS sensors cover areas up to 1 kilometer per pixel. High spatial resolution is essential for applications requiring detailed mapping, such as urban planning or precision agriculture. There's a trade-off between spatial resolution and spatial extent. Generally, the higher the spatial resolution, the smaller the area covered by a single image. For example, MODIS sensors cover large areas with lower resolution, while Landsat OLI captures smaller areas in greater detail. Choosing the right balance depends on the application, whether you need broad coverage or fine detail for your analysis. Temporal resolution refers to how often a satellite revisits the same location, also known as revisit time. This depends on the satellite's orbit, sensor capabilities, and swath overlap. Some satellites like MODIS can revisit every 2 days, while others like Landsat have a 16-day cycle. High temporal resolution is crucial for monitoring dynamic changes, such as weather events, vegetation growth, or urban expansion. Radiometric resolution describes a sensor's ability to distinguish differences in energy or radiance. The higher the radiometric resolution, the more sensitive the sensor is to subtle changes, resulting in sharper and more detailed images. For example, a 12-bit sensor can detect 4,096 levels of energy, while an 8-bit sensor detects only 256. This capability is essential for applications that require precise measurements, such as detecting slight changes in vegetation health or surface temperature. Satellite data goes through several processing levels before it's ready for analysis. Level 0 and 1 data are raw and time-referenced, making them difficult to use directly. Level 2 data is converted into geophysical quantities and is georeferenced and calibrated. Level 3 data is mapped onto a uniform spacetime grid and quality-controlled, while Level 4 data combines Level 3 data with models or other instruments. The higher the level, the easier the data is to use for practical applications. Accurately display spatial data, we use projections and coordinate systems. The Earth isn't a perfect sphere, it's a geoid, an irregular shape that closely matches mean sea level. To map data consistently, we approximate the surface using an elliptical spheroid, and different approximations fit different regions better. Each spheroid uses a specific datum as a reference point, ensuring that spatial data aligns correctly with real-world location. While we often think of Earth as a sphere, it's actually a geoid, a shape defined by mean sea level and its extension under land. This subtle but important distinction affects how we map and analyze spatial data. Using the geoid as a reference, scientists can create more accurate models of Earth's surface, improving the precision of remote sensing and geographic information systems. To display spatial data consistently, we use elliptical spheroids to approximate Earth's surface. No single spheroid fits perfectly, so different models are used for different regions. Each spheroid is tied to a specific datum, a reference point that anchors spatial data. For example, the North American datum 1983 (NAD83) is commonly used in North America. Choosing the right datum is essential for accurate mapping and analysis. Datum is a known point on or within Earth's geometry, used as a reference for all other locations. Because of Earth's irregular shape, datums are necessary for accurate spatial representation. By anchoring data to a specific point, datums ensure that maps and satellite imagery align correctly with real-world features. This is a foundational concept in remote sensing and geographic information systems. All spatial data, including satellite imagery, must be georeferenced to a fixed point on Earth's surface. This is achieved using Coordinate Reference Systems (CRS), which pair data points with specific locations. Two main types of CRS are used: geographic and projected. Geographic systems are better for global data, while projected systems are more accurate for specific regions. Choosing the right CRS is vital for precise mapping and analysis. Geographic coordinate systems are ideal for representing data that covers large areas, such as the entire Earth. They use latitude and longitude to specify locations, making them suitable for global datasets. However, they are less accurate for small regions. A commonly used geographic coordinate system is WGS-84, which serves as the standard for GPS and many global mapping applications. Projected coordinate systems transform the curved surface of the Earth onto a flat map, improving accuracy for specific regions. These systems are essential for applications that require precise measurements, such as engineering, land surveying, and urban planning. By choosing the appropriate projection, users can minimize distortion and ensure that spatial data aligns correctly with real-world features. Remote sensing offers numerous advantages, including the ability to collect data over large and inaccessible areas, monitor changes over time, and support a wide range of applications. It enables scientists to observe natural disasters, track environmental changes, and manage resources more effectively. Remote sensing data is also invaluable for research, policymaking, and disaster response. Despite its many benefits, remote sensing has some limitations. Data can be affected by atmospheric conditions, sensor limitations, and processing errors. High-resolution data may be expensive or restricted, and interpreting remote sensing imagery requires specialized knowledge. Understanding these challenges helps users make informed decisions and maximize the value of remote sensing data. Navigate the field of remote sensing. It's important to understand key terminology. Terms like spatial resolution, spectral bands, radiometric sensitivity, and coordinate systems are foundational concepts. Familiarity with these terms enables users to interpret data correctly, communicate effectively with experts, and apply remote sensing techniques to real-world problems. One of the most impactful uses of remote sensing is environmental monitoring. Satellites track deforestation, monitor water quality, and observe changes in land use. This information supports conservation efforts, guides policy decisions, and helps scientists understand the impacts of climate change. Remote sensing data is essential for protecting natural resources and promoting sustainable development. Remote sensing plays a vital role in disaster response, providing real-time data on events like hurricanes, floods, and wildfires. Satellites deliver critical information to emergency responders, enabling faster and more effective action. By monitoring affected areas, remote sensing helps coordinate relief efforts, assess damage, and plan recovery operations. In agriculture, remote sensing is used to monitor crop health, assess soil moisture, and optimize irrigation. By analyzing spectral signatures, farmers can detect stress, disease, and nutrient deficiencies early. This technology supports precision agriculture, increasing yields and reducing resource use, ultimately contributing to food security and sustainability. Urban planners use remote sensing to map land use, monitor urban growth, and manage infrastructure. High-resolution satellite imagery provides detailed views of cities, helping planners design more efficient transportation networks, manage resources, and plan for sustainable development. Remote sensing data is also used to assess environmental impacts and guide smart city initiatives. Remote sensing is indispensable for climate science, providing long-term data on temperature, precipitation, and atmospheric composition. Satellites track changes in ice cover, sea level, and greenhouse gas concentrations, supporting research on global warming and climate variability. This data informs climate models and helps scientists predict future trends. Oceanographers rely on remote sensing to study sea surface temperature, currents, and marine ecosystems. Satellites provide data on ocean color, chlorophyll concentration, and sea level, supporting research on fisheries, marine biodiversity, and ocean health. This information is vital for managing marine resources and understanding the impacts of climate change on oceans. Remote sensing is a powerful tool for monitoring air quality, detecting pollutants, and tracking atmospheric composition. Satellites measure concentrations of gases like ozone, carbon monoxide, and nitrogen dioxide, providing data for environmental agencies and researchers. This information supports public health initiatives and helps identify sources of pollution. Remote sensing enables detailed mapping of land use and land cover, distinguishing between forests, agriculture, urban areas, and water bodies. This data is essential for resource management, environmental protection, and urban planning. By tracking changes over time, remote sensing helps identify trends and inform policy decisions. Hydrologists use remote sensing to monitor water resources, track river flows, and assess drought conditions. Satellites provide data on precipitation, soil moisture, and surface water extent, supporting water management and disaster preparedness. This technology is vital for ensuring water security and managing the impacts of climate variability. Forestry professionals use remote sensing to monitor forest health, map tree cover, and detect illegal logging. Satellite imagery helps track deforestation, assess fire damage, and plan reforestation efforts. This data supports sustainable forest management and conservation initiatives worldwide. The future of remote sensing is bright. with advances in sensor technology, data processing, and artificial intelligence opening new possibilities. Higher resolution, faster revisit times, and improved data accessibility will empower more users to leverage remote sensing for research, policy, and innovation. As technology evolves, remote sensing will continue to play a pivotal role in understanding and managing our changing planet. This video, we've explored the fundamentals of remote sensing, from the science behind electromagnetic radiation to the practical applications that impact our daily lives. We've seen how satellites and sensors collect, process, and deliver valuable data for environmental monitoring, disaster response, agriculture, and more. As remote sensing technology continues to advance, its importance in understanding and managing our planet will only grow. Thank you for joining us on this journey through NASA's world of remote sensing.